Hi YouTube. So, I am wearing a hairnet because I blow dried my hair the night before last and I want the curls to stay and it keeps my hair neat whilst I'm in bed. Oh, ignore my neighbours, they're just having a to-do. Also, I had my eyebrows waxed today. She was great and she trimmed them as well, which I'm really grateful for. So, basically, what I'm going to talk about is wanting to stop smoking. Anyway, so I want to stop smoking, and I've been attempting to stop and stopping and restarting for. To rearrange myself. Stopping and starting for. I'd probably say about 5 years. What year are we now? 2021. That's 2016. Yeah, literally. In fact, probably longer. Anyway, so I know that let me just stir this honey in my tea. I know that I can enjoy life and be a non-smoker, and that I can go prolonged periods of time without smoking. Sorry, let me just bring this forward. It's down. Because I've done it in the past. And I know there's no point in focusing on the past because it's been and gone and I've smoked since then and things like that. But I think it's really important as a starting point for me to continue stopping smoking. Because I know, because I've done it before, I know I can do it. And I was reading through some journals, flicking through some journals, and I found the periods of time where I was a non-smoker and just reading through the paragraphs, and it was like, I love being a non-smoker. I was so happy, and I listed all of the amazing things that I loved, even just little things like my clothes not smelling of smoke, like stopping smoking and not being around smokers. I think my biggest excuse at the moment is because pretty much every single person on my floor in this building smokes, and where I'm living as well, I have 3 windows, and all 3 windows are by the office and by the smoking area. So when I have the windows open, smoke comes in. One sec. But I'm really curious to understand why I smoke, why I don't want to not smoke, why I want to tell myself that I want to stop but I continue. Alcohol, I'm okay with. I kind of discovered my limits. Excuse me, sorry. I kind of discovered my limits with alcohol. What did you say? My mess? No, it's not that messy. Yeah, I discovered my limits with alcohol in my early 20s. I don't feel... Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, with my ex, he didn't smoke or drink. He never minded if I wanted to have a drink, but I had no inclination to drink when we were together. And his eldest son lived with him full time. So when all 3 of us were together, I never smoked. It wasn't even a conscious attempt at stopping. I naturally just found myself going throughout the days and being like, oh my god, I haven't even thought about having a cigarette today. And obviously when you're with a child, I personally feel when I'm with a child it's different. But I found I didn't even have cravings, guys. I didn't even have cravings. I would almost be like, oh, I've not had a cigarette today, or I've not smoked today, because I sometimes roll my own. Sometimes I buy cigarettes and sometimes I buy tobacco. But it's something that I really want to work on, and I feel like I'm more likely to have a consistent sort of experience if I log my journey and um, I'm feeling more towards an interactive experience of journaling rather than handwriting at the moment. Um, yeah, so I have some theories as to basically when, because I do journal, I also do health journals as well, not as consistently as I used to. Um, and I I remember that when I have stopped smoking in the past, I've become really tetchy. Um, so I feel that smoking potentially on some unconscious or subconscious level might be a way that I deal with anger, frustration, the sort of narky, tetchy, um, impatient energy. So in the past, when I've stopped smoking, I've noticed I don't hold my tongue as much. I stand up for what I want to say in the moment and say it. I don't mean disrespectfully. I just mean I noticed that something that was suppressed before wasn't suppressed, and other people probably noticed that with me. I think because I aim to not be affected by other people, that I just deal with it myself, and I'll just take myself away and have a cigarette, or leave the situation and have a cigarette, or rather than actually communicate to that person, I don't like your attitude, I don't appreciate the way you're speaking to me, I've just seen what you've done there, because I fear like retribution in some way, for standing up for what's right. I also notice that I feel safer as a smoker. Like when I'm out, it's part of an image. It's really part of an image for me. I don't actually know who. I do know who I am, and it wasn't that I was entirely healthy when I was a non-smoker, but I was physically. I was vegan. I'm doing a lot of yoga, a lot of pranayama. I really love to do my breath work. And I think I'm going to have to come to terms to a degree and accept that stopping smoking, or, tackling an addictive habit is potentially something that I might have to work at. I kind of, even to this day, am kind of a little bit in denial about stopping. I'm like, oh, I'll just stop. And then I'm like, oh, well, I just stopped, so I'll just start again. And I've contacted my local GP. They don't have an integrated smoking cessation team. And a lot of the organizations only give support if you meet certain criteria, which I don't meet. So, um, um, I sat down with myself today and I was literally like, I'm gonna have to do this on my own. So, I don't know what it means for my life. I don't know what it means for the people I socialize with. It's, um, honey and lemon with shed loads of garlic. For the immune system. And a bay leaf. Um, yeah, so, like, I'm gonna roll a cigarette now. This is gonna be interesting. Okay.